Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm back with another episode of Olympia Prep, and today is episode 2. I figured you guys really liked the first one, so I'm gonna keep making these videos and keep it consistent. So today we're 18 weeks out from Mr. Olympia, and I'm taking you guys through another chest and shoulder workout, a little bit of arms as well. So I wanted to show you guys what my other chest day looks like, since I've gotten a lot of feedback and questions about my split. So I'm gonna give you guys a little rundown before we go to the gym. So actually I wanna make my pre-workout real quick before I start talking, so it starts kicking. And I got the intake from Accent Sledge and sour peach drinks flavor. Nice hefty scoop of this, and should get me a little smarter before I start talking about all the split stuff. So just mix it up. I do need to get a haircut and maybe a cooler cup, but I've been liking having this white girl little straw cup for my pre-workout. Makes me feel a little cooler. So I'm gonna give you guys a little rundown of what my split looks like. So I do all my own training and I keep the split pretty consistent. So I have a push day on Monday, Tuesday's my hamstring back day, Wednesday's off, Thursdays I got another push day, but more shoulder and arm focused. And then I got Friday back again, and then legs on Saturday. So this is like a pretty basic split, but I like hitting stuff twice a week. So I'm hitting chest twice a week. I got hamstrings like twice a week, and then quads once a week. And then same thing with chest, I'm hitting that twice a week. So I really like doing training on my own because I'm able to, moderate the volume depending on how I feel and give the muscle groups just enough stimulus to grow. So right now, since I'm prepping, I really want to make sure I don't overdo it. So I am keeping it very consistent. However, like if I feel a little tired, I'll do a little bit less volume. If I'm feeling it in the gym, I'll do a little bit more. So that's the reason I like doing it by myself. But either way, it's a really consistent split. It gets the job done, so I can't complain. It's working well, so I don't think I'm gonna change it. Maybe I'll do a couple little changes here and there as we get closer to the show, but other than that, I think it's perfect for what I'm doing right now. So throughout this series, I'll take you guys through multiple workouts and show you a little bit more in depth. And in this video, I just wanted to show you guys the difference between the, kind of a lighter push day where it's focused on shoulders and arms versus push day where I'm focusing on my chest. So today's a chest focused push day, and I can't wait to go and hit it. We're gonna go pretty heavy depending on how I feel. I'll give you guys a little spoiler. The food is getting pretty low already. I'm still about 30 pounds away from the weight cap. I'll give you guys more updates on the prep at the end of the video. But other than that, as long as I can keep the strength up, I'm not worried. However, sometimes you feel a bit low energy. So we'll see how the strength keeps up today. But I really want to start, ramping it up as we begin the prep and try to hold it for as long as I can. And then as we get closer to the show, we're gonna really focus on mind-muscle connection and lighter weights. So let's go get a pump. All right, so the first exercise, we're gonna do a nice little shoulder raise on this prime cable. I really like this, it really isolates your shoulders. There's really not much cheating you can do. You do a little bit of trap if you're like pushing the last few reps, but overall it's like really isolating. Since this is my chest focused push day, I'm only gonna do this to begin with, and no more shoulders after that. But this is perfect to get everything on my rotator cuffs warmed up, and then go into like a full-on chest day. So I'm actually supersetting this with a band. So you guys are gonna see I'm gonna go all in on this set and then superset it with this band, just like little half reps at the bottom, and it's gonna finish them off nicely. And I'm gonna do 3 working sets here.
Oh yeah. My energy is higher too. Like before I started with you, I woke up every day, I felt like I got hit by a truck.
Oh fuck. I'm really trying to hammer my shoulders because I think now they're starting to lack a little bit. All right, so next up I'm gonna do this pinata fly, and I'm just focusing on activating my chest, probably 1 or 2 working sets. Here I got full stack, I'm already going into my working set. And I just really wanna like activate my chest before I go into any main movements. So let's hit it, because I got people waiting on me.
You're so much larger. That was smaller, but I was my pure hand. Have you got explosive fighters early on? Because of those years, you had that little about that. So that's what I was thinking. How's it work? Work. Are you? Skin?
We got 20 reps. Now main movement on the go. All right guys, so the top movement, you got my top working set on incline Smith machine. And yeah. So I haven't done this because the machine's been down for quite a while.
It just got fixed like this week, I think. So.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to work my way back up here.
Come on, Anton, nice and easy.
All right, I'm shooting for like 10 here.
You got it. Come on, let's go. All right, yeah, come on, Anton, nice and easy. Yeah, easy. Yep. Come on, big push, drive. Come on, Anton, way more. Yep. Yep. Get up. Yep. Come on. Get up. Come on. Don't let me touch it. Get up. Come on. Yep. 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 Come on.
2 more.
Get up. Come on. Finish it. Finish it.
More.
Yep. Come on. Yeah. There you go.
Thank you. It's not bad at all.
Great.
Whew. Yes, sir. I had C-Bone watch my story this morning. I'm extra motivated today. And honestly, weight is moving pretty good. So can't complain. I haven't done like a heavy Smith machine in a minute. So you guys probably noticed it's similar to like it's like a hybrid between my first chest day I recorded back in November when I started my bulk, and hybrid between that one and the one I hit at Absolute Recomp, where I started with this, with the pinata fly. So those are, it's kind of a hybrid. I found the best machines that are in this gym, and then wherever feels best for me. And kind of, I'm probably just gonna progressively overload every single one of those movements. And yeah, so I did one top set of 10 reps with 2 assisted, and now I'm gonna do a back off, no assisted, 3 plates, probably try to go for 12 reps ideally, 12, 15 would be good. So let's see how it feels. Fuck, I'm tapping. Damn. Remember from the bulk days? Second set will always feel better. I'm starting to feel a little more depleted this time around, so did not get as many reps as I thought I would. But it happens, you know. I think you just Because you can just accept your fate and move on, you know? I'm just shooting for like at least 10 reps here. All right, cool. 3, 2, 1, good. All right, yep, let go.
No, you go. Yep, still you. Go. Great.
One more.
Let's go all the way.
Yep.
Here you go.
Good.
Got that?
Oh,
Nice.
awesome.
Okay, brother.
Perfect, bro. Thanks. All right, finishing up chest with some flies. Let me see, this should be pretty solid weight. Tension level at 5. Really feeling the stretch. Fuck. All right, guys, so this workout is a wrap. Honestly, pretty good session. I'm starting to notice how the energy is a little dipping in a little bit. Not in terms of my energy throughout the day, which is actually has been a lot better, but the energy during the session, especially like, you know, my endurance throughout the session. So I could tell that my glycogen stores and overall my ATP, the energy molecule in my muscles, is a little depleted. So that's why you don't have, you know, the consistent strength throughout the sets. But it is still like very, very solid. When I work up to my top set, it's still as good as it was. Probably almost as good as it was at the peak of my bulk. So honestly, dropping the food right now is not like a bad thing. And I want to talk about more about that, because I want to preface that this prep isn't about doing the most. It's about doing everything that actually matters. So not overexerting myself, and you know, finding the right balance between recovery and effort. Because putting the effort is not about doing the most, it's about doing the precise decisions that lead you to that ultimate look. And from what I've learned from my previous preps, especially my first ever prep, if you guys remember, over dieted, I lost a lot of muscle. And the Pittsburgh prep, also similar thing. So, you know, in those cases, you know, the extra stress that I had, it led me to overexerting myself, putting too much effort in the wrong area. So, you know, wasn't using my brain as much. I was pushing myself too hard, wasn't recovering as well. And, you know, that led ultimately to a kind of a worse look. You know, I was obviously the most shredded, but being shredded is not the ultimate goal, because there's other aspects like fullness, balance, and conditioning is probably as important as those three, especially in my case, because I know the conditioning is not going to be the lacking part. Just want to give a quick update on how the prep is going. So this time around, I'm starting the prep at a pretty heavy body weight, which before I didn't have a privilege of doing that because I was really, really light and underweight for my class overall. So now we kind of have a different approach. And you know, the goal is to get under the weight cap in the first place. I know now that we have enough muscle, it's important to get the conditioning precise and not overdo it. However, I need to bring something that's a step up from all my previous looks. Hence, this is why we have already dropped the food down to 300 grams of carbs. Protein's about 300 as well, and fats are also low, 55 grams. So usually this would be as low as my food would get at any point in prep. Obviously, when I try to deplete down, it probably gets a little bit lower than that, but overall this is as low as it ever gets. And I'm pretty hopeful that this is as low as it will get this prep, but we're doing this in hopes to get ahead of the curve. The goal is to get under the weight cap and fill back out. Obviously, I'm not gonna get under the weight cap just yet, but I wanna be in a really good conditioning leading into the show to save myself from all the stress that might come with, you know, rushing the conditioning and trying to get in shape last second. I really wanna be ahead of the curve, as I said, and I think we're doing just the right thing. So as you guys noticed, my conditioning has improved drastically in these 2 weeks, and honestly, I didn't drop all that much weight. I think at the time when I was recording that last video, I was maybe 247 pounds, 245, and that was me carved up. So now I'm really depleted and my weight is just below 240. So I'm still around 240, but there's been days I woke up below 240. And I think we're gonna keep pushing for another like 2-3 weeks. And from there, we're gonna ramp it up and try to get my metabolic rate to increase just a little bit so I could eat a little bit more throughout the prep and fill back out. But as I said, the goal is to be really, really ahead of the curve here. So we're doing just that. You know, the cardio is not crazy yet. I'm just doing 30 minutes 4 times a week. And the steps are 10K, which honestly, I haven't been wearing my Oura ring nor my Apple Watch just because the Oura ring doesn't fit right now. I'm still a little bit too fat. And but I'm gonna take out the Apple Watch to start tracking it a little bit more accurately. But 10,000 steps is a pretty hefty amount. So I don't know if I'm getting that just yet, but trying, you know. Usually I track it with going on 1 to 2 walks per day, and that usually gets me to 10K. So, you know, not stressing about that too much, but obviously starting to track things a lot more consistently. Just a couple more updates. Obviously, I have been doing my stretching very consistently now as I'm doing a lot more fatiguing stuff in this prep. You know, it is feeling like a prep right now. I'm not that hungry yet, but it is a good amount of output, you know, trying to be in a deficit. That requires, you know, good recovery. And it's not about doing the most, as I said, it's about doing what works. So if you're exerting yourself to a certain amount, you have to account for the fatigue management, which I am. So I'm getting body work once a week as always from Dante, he's the GOAT. And also I'm gonna order the thermo boots, which are the compression boots to help me preserve my legs as much as possible, because my legs are very lean at this point and I don't wanna have to lose muscle on my legs. And if I over diet, I'll probably lose that fresh tissue that I build on my legs, in my outer sweep especially. The first thing for me usually is the upper body fullness that goes when I get over dieted. However, the leg mass is something I'm worried about because they are lean and they do carry a good amount of fresh tissue. This is a big concern for me, to just preserve my legs as I do cardio, especially if I add more cardio. You know, I really want to make sure my legs are recovered. So the stretching, body work, and I'll get the thermo boots, so that will help. And I've been doing my vacuums every morning, so that's another thing. You know, I want to make sure my waist super tight, and I've been training abs hard 2 times a week, and now I'm adding, for the last couple of days, I've been adding a little bit of stimulus in the morning, just some little crunches, you know, nothing crazy, but that helps with my core control, obviously. So the biggest thing I want to emphasize in this episode is that more suffering doesn't equal a better physique, and I've learned that the hard way, as I told you guys, my first ever prep, Pittsburgh prep. And this is the one thing that I'm making sure I'm already implementing while the food is getting low, even though I'm still far out, you know. So that's the number one game changer for me, obviously. I never had an issue of pushing myself too hard. It's all about holding myself back and giving the effort in the right spots when needed. So really thinking with my head here, not my heart, because I always want to work the hardest and be, you know, all this guy, but that's often your ego. And that's what I've realized, you know, you don't need to be feeding your ego. You have to realize, you know, there's calculated actions that work, and you have to apply those as we go. So getting ahead of the curve right now is the best thing that we could do. Fill back out sooner, and then shoot for a slightly lower weight cap, just because I'm like 1 centimeter away from the next weight cap. I don't want to risk it this time around. So I doubt I've put on over 20 pounds of muscle this time around. So getting down to 212 is the goal. And then from there, hopefully I'll get the next weight cap at the Olympia, because I have the inversion table, as I told you guys. So hopefully at the Olympia height ends, I'll get the new weight cap, fingers crossed. And that'll allow me to get even bigger for the Arnold or any other show I'll want to do in the future. It is very important to keep my back decompressed, because right now I am above that weight cap. However, when I diet and with a lot of load on my body, I tend to lose that, you know, 1 centimeter that I need. So I want to make sure I keep that, and that way we can, you know, grow into classic for another couple of years. So that would be the ultimate goal. And yeah, 7 more pounds is a big jump. So I'm not gonna, you know, risk it this Olympia, but hiding in this time around will allow me to be at that 219 weight cap for the remaining of the year, which is awesome, because I'll be able to jump into other shows and improve as we go. And that's why being ready ahead of time is the number one thing for me. So, you know, from there, once we're in shape, we can only fill back out, only get better, you know. Because often when people do more shows, and, you know, I am planning on doing more shows after the Olympia, they often flatten out and lose the pop. If I have the extra room, there's no way I'm gonna lose it, as we're probably gonna be ramping up the food even more and more. So a little rant on the weight cap. I mean, you know, it's not a big deal if I don't get it this year. Either way, I'll have room for another year or two to fill out 212. It's just that I had a really productive off season this time around, and it made the scale weight shoot up, and which, you know, never happened to me. I know even though I have good conditioning right now, it's a little bit deceiving as I'm holding water, etc. So getting down to that previous weight cap is not going to be an issue. So I know by the time the Olympia comes around, this is not even going to look like the same physique, no matter what weight cap we get. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Hope you guys found it interesting and you guys keep up with the journey. I appreciate all your comments, likes, etc. Please use my code and save money. So you have Marek Health, code Anton, and then also you got Dark Sport, Accent Sledge, Elevate Foods, code SWL. If you use my code, you guys support the journey tremendously, and get yourself some cheaper stuff. So, you know, win-win for both of us. And again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to keep this series going. And yeah, to the moon we go, guys. So thank you for watching the video. I appreciate all you guys. I'll see you next one. Peace.